living in your greatest purpose. Thank you for your likes, comments, share. Okay. Peace, love, and divine light. I'm waiting for a couple people to show up. Okay, so I hope the sun is shining wherever you are and you're living in your greatest purpose. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. All those who book personal readings, channel members. Shout out to the channel members. Shout out Scorpio Chiffon. Good to see you, member in the house. Let's see if there are other members here. Vetrodex, not a member, but good to see you. Let's see. Okay, so Anthony, good to see you. So let's talk about this Lions Portal, right? Let's talk about Lions Portal, all right, which is happening August 8th, 2025. All right. And you may, if you've been on the internet, you've probably seen a lot of folks posting videos about Lionsgate. Okay. Which is it's due to be a huge event. All right. Every year. It always is. And it's significant for different reasons. And I'm going to talk about why it is significant from a perspective that you may not have heard before. Okay, I'm going to talk about the significance of Lionsgate when it comes to ancestors. Okay, specifically about ancestors coming back and communicating with ancestors. And I'm going to speak from personal experience. All right, I'm not sure what other people's experience have been in regards to Lionsgate. And, you know, I'm sure there's like a lot of scientific information out there regarding Lionsgate and, you know, specifically astrological information. My information is going to come from personal experience as well as something having to do with numerology. Okay, so we're actually going to do a little bit of numerology on this live. And also I'm going to speak from personal experience, experience that, you know, I've had regarding ancestors. Okay, so let's talk about, like, just briefly, portals in general. Okay, when you're talking about spirituality, portals are significant. All right, and it is said, okay, for those who are spiritually in tune, it is said that there are portals that exist in various parts of the world. All right, various parts of the world contain portals, which are energy centers where you are able to open the way, if you will, for the various things that you want to happen. Okay, so there are actually various parts of the world. And I have learned specifically as a Haitian woman. Okay, as many of you may know, I'm from Haiti. I know that, you know, from, you know, just reading and speaking to various sources. Actually, no, it's not speaking from someone. It's actually information that I received from people, all right, who are familiar with the various centers that exist in IET. Okay, there are various centers that exist in IET where the energy, okay, they're actually portals. They're actually portals that exist where people go there. And I'm not going to get into the whole Catholic Church thing, but that is a thing where they're familiar with this and they've built various churches in places where they know that they can capture energy, they can harness energy, and basically whoever captures that energy is able to harness it and take hold of it and is able to have control. That's something else. We're not here to talk about them, but and that is a reality. And you do have people that know the significance of portals, the significance of capturing energy when portals are open or various places where portals exist. Okay. It is said that, there are various places in Florida where there are portals for water deities. All right. So that's a different story. All right. So portals do exist. Okay. And there are various places in the world where people go where they are very familiar with these portals and they're able to capture energy and do various things. And a lot of times it's people that do not necessarily always have the best intentions. All right. That are familiar with this information. And there are a lot of us, and this is not the kind of stuff that you learned in school. All right. This is not the kind of stuff that they're going to teach you because I have a feeling that it's only a few people who are very familiar with this information because portals are also access to power. Okay. From a spiritual perspective, if you're able to capture a certain energy, then you're able to capture that power. All right. So very few people are familiar with the portals that exist. There are portals that exist, energy centers that in around the world. Okay, this is all over the world. Energy centers where people go. They know that these portals are there and they're able to capture information. Again, it's not always people that have the best intentions. All right. So we're gonna start with that. Portals are energy centers, and I may be giving you a limited definition. This is from my perspective. You may have a lot more information than I do regarding the portals. So if you do have information, please leave that information in the chat. All right. And let me know what information you have regarding portals, and we can as we're engaging in this live, we can engage in conversation regarding portals, any experience you've had, so on and so forth. All right, so we're gonna start with that. All right, so many of you know, so we're gonna start with portals. We talked a little bit about that they exist. They exist in different parts of the world. Now, let's get into Lionsgate. Now, I'm not all familiar with all the aspects of Lionsgate portal itself. I just know that it captures the energy. All right. It captures Leo energy. It captures that energy of manifestation. All right. You also have 8, which many people see as the infinity symbol, which is significant for manifesting. All right. Abundance. All right. You also have 8, which in this culture's numerology is connected to Saturn energy. Okay, so if you look at that, if you look at number 8, it looks like the infinity, which many people equate with abundance. And then you also have the number 8, which in this culture connects the number 8 to Saturn energy, which many people connect with an energy of abundance, right? Saturn has always been within this culture connected to the energy of abundance. So many people during this particular time, which is that 8/8 energy, all right, August 8th, many people engage in various rituals to capture that abundance energy that is associated with the Lionsgate portal. All right. So it is a time where a lot of folks are doing rituals. Some of the rituals are positive. Some of the rituals are not so positive. Okay, so you're going to have a lot of folks trying to manifest whatever. So let me just say a little something about that with you. I would say look at information regarding Lionsgate portal first and foremost. Okay, so you can get a better understanding of what it really is about. Okay, before you start engaging in any kind of ritual, know for yourself what it is about and why it is that you are going to engage in ritual. All right. Know that it is an energy that exists. All right. And it's not from a, well, I'm just going to speak on what I know, not what I don't know. Let me stick to what I do know. All right. So a lot of folks are going to be engaging in rituals. So what does that mean for you? What that means for you, knowing this, is it's definitely a time where you want to connect, with the energies that ground you. Okay. You definitely want to be grounded because number one, you already know that there are folks doing rituals that are positive and some not so positive. All right. Folks use, okay, this is something many of you may or may not know. Folks use these times. All right. And this is why, like, spirituality is not something that everybody is like, folks shouldn't play with it, but folks use this energy to, to do some ill. All right. Folks do use this energy to do things that they really shouldn't be doing. Okay. Again, all right, you have that polarity, positive and negative. Folks are going to be doing rituals, positive, negative, whatever it is. So knowing this, you get to ground your energy to assure that whatever it is that's happening in the atmosphere, all right, whatever it is that's happening spiritually, that you get to be grounded. All right, because you don't know who's doing what. Okay, you don't know who's doing what, and many of you may or may not know who is against you and who's not against you. All right, and just best believe, hopefully many of you are not still in this naive state where you think that everyone is for you. Not everyone is for you. And so knowing this, I think it's something that we should do at all times, specifically during Lionsgate's this energy. I think it's important that we ground our energy. Well, how do you ground your energy? Make sure your space is clean. Number one, this is one of the things that I would say that you get to do. So that way, whatever portal is open and whatever it is that's happening in the atmosphere, that your intention is to bring in the positive. All right. Your intention is always to bring in positive energy. So make sure that your space is in a position, in a state where you can welcome positive energy. And so anything that is not, that you are not wanting in your space doesn't make its way in. All right. So like, remove the dust, do the cleaning, whatever, all of that. I would definitely say that's one of the things that you get to do to ground your energy. Keep your space. And this is something that you should do at all times. Keep your space clean. Keep your space smelling good. Okay. All of those things attract positive energy. All right. And there are various herbs that you may use to cleanse. Okay. Rosemary is definitely one of them. If you have a rosemary plant, you can rub it in some spring water. And again, this is, not for everybody. You can rub the rosemary in some spring water and, you cleanse your space with it. All right. To bring in that positive energy and keep all the negative energy out. All right. So definitely, I would say connect with the energy of that day as well. All right. Because Lionsgate is about, Leo energy, right? Fire energy. Use that time to get creative because it is a time to manifest some things, right? So writing some things down, releasing things that no longer serve you. All of those things are energies that you can tap into as well. All right. So most importantly, regarding that, just keeping your space. All right. This is your physical space, your mind in a position where you are harnessing positive energy at all time. You're bringing positive energy at all time. And now let's get to the ancestor part. All right, let's get to the ancestor part because this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Now, in Haitian Vodun, right, the number 8, and this is not something that I'm familiar with regarding whether or not in our culture we do rituals around Lionsgate. All right, I do know that the number 8 is connected to, in our culture, in Haitian Vodou, the number 8 is connected to Mars energy. Okay, and Mars in Haitian Vodou it's an earth energy. Okay, this is Ezuli Dantal energy. All right, so she's the mother, right? Ezuli Dantal is the mother, and she's definitely earth energy, yet she's also a protective energy as well. So it's like you have various aspects of the loi, right? Even though you're an earth energy, okay, that doesn't mean that you're not a warrior, okay? And Ezeli Danto is a loi that is connected to earth energy, yet she's the protector. That's why her veve is the heart with the dagger in it, okay? So going back to ancestors, so follow me here, all right? So 8 in Haitian Vodou is Mars. Mars is Earth. So the two numbers is the number 4 and the number 8. Both are numbers connected to Earth energy. All of those Earth energies, the Earth realm, deal with ancestors. Okay? The Earth realm energies, they deal with ancestors because ancestors were people that were here on Earth. They lived here on Earth. And then their spirit transitioned, all right? And I think I'm saying that right. The body still remains, right? The body is buried, yet the spirit the spirit still lives essentially, even though the body is buried underground, all right? So when we're talking about ancestors in Haitian Vodou, those are earth energies, all right? So if you're following me here, then you see that you could see why the number 8 is significant. And it is an auspicious time. Auspicious. It is a great time to connect with your ancestors. All right. It's always a great time to connect with your ancestors. Right. Yet we know that given the numerology of the day, all right, which is due to be an earth energy. All right. It is an auspicious time to connect with your ancestors. It is a great time to connect with your ancestors. And I do believe that during Lion's Gate, when that portal is open, okay, you recall we saying that it's a portal where it's like there's energies coming in, and it's also a time to put energy out there. So that portal, essentially what that means is it's a door. All right. It's an opening. There's going to be an opening. That's what essentially Lion's Gate means. Right. There is an opening. So it's an auspicious time to, put those desires out there. And it also is an auspicious time where energies, whether you like them or not, can essentially go through and come through the portal. This is why I was saying you're trying to invite the right kind of energy in, right? So you want to make sure that mentally you're in the right space. Your physical space is also welcoming positive energy. So you put yourself in a position where you welcome the energies that you want. All right. And you can also do various things to keep out the energies that you don't want. Many of you may, you may burn various incense, okay, to keep out certain energies. You may carry certain crystals to repel negative energy. I know amethyst is a great one. Clear quartz is a great one. Essentially, I think all the various crystals, may have a protective element. So those are just a few. Some of you may know some other ones that you can post in the chat. Now, personal experience with, and I'm trying not to make this too long, personal experience with Lion's Gate. All right. I personally experience an energy or energies of ancestors communicating with me during Lion's Gate. And I'm trying to remember what year this was. It wasn't last year. Where I specifically felt the presence of an ancestor that had recently transitioned, okay, not too long ago. and I felt the energy of that person, and it made itself known to me. That's exactly what it was. And when you experience this, whatever energy connects with you, and if it's one that is meant to be in your space, I do believe that it's going to be very clear, who that energy is. Okay. And it's interesting because I hadn't even done any rituals or anything to connect with this person, or I didn't do any rituals that day that I knew of. And usually, I do my usual routine. I pour my libations. This is something that I do on a regular basis. Okay, so sometimes you do rituals and you're not sure what you invite in, and this is what I'm saying, y'all. Like, having that spiritual life, like, it's not just about talk; it's about living it. Okay, and I live it, and I live it in a sense, in my own way, as a Haitian woman, as a voodooist, as a voodooism, someone who is very much connected to Haitian culture. Okay, and so whatever your culture is, whatever your cultural background is, you follow that path. All right. So that day that I experienced this, I hadn't, it wasn't known to me that I did something that connected me to this energy. Okay. All I know is, I pour my libations on a daily basis. I salute the elements. Okay. I salute the elements, every day. This is a ritual for me, to connect with nature. I salute the four elements: air, water, earth, and fire. This is something that I do on a regular basis. So when I'm talking about spirituality with y'all, this is not just something that I'm saying, oh, go do it, and I don't know, and I don't experience these things. And I think many of you can feel that essence, that it's real. Okay, that it's real. Like, you can tell when someone's just talking about something and not living it. And truly, I live that. I live what I speak. Okay, every single day I salute Mother Nature. That is my mother. Okay, Mother Nature, the one that provides the food that we eat. Okay, I salute the four elements because it is in living in harmony with all the elements that we're able to be, and that we're able to be conscious, that we're able to see, that we're able to be awakened, because some of us know that we weren't in a position where we could see at some point. And so that for me is living with gratitude, being in a space now where I'm beginning to see. And I'm saying I'm beginning to see. Some of y'all are like, oh, okay, like I read your comments and I'm like, wow, like I feel like I'm still a baby. When it comes to this spirituality thing, there's so much I don't know. And so for many of you who feel like you're just beginning, and like, you look at people who seem like they've been on this path for such a long time and they know a lot more than you, trust me, I am still a baby in this spiritual thing called, this life. Okay, I'm still a baby. I'm still learning. Okay, so hopefully this is motivation for someone who feels like, they don't know where to start. Start with saying you don't know. Start with just speaking to them. Start with saluting the four elements. Okay, in Haitian Vodun, the four elements are important. Mother Nature, that connection with nature, is absolutely important. You can't be talking about this spiritual thing and not have a spiritual life in reality, because people will check you. Okay, there's some mofos out there that will literally check you. And I've seen some folks in the comments. I see what y'all be doing. Okay, folks that be coming in the comments, just, y'all have ill intentions. I'm not the one to be playing with. Okay, I'm not that one. Folks will check you. So it is essential that you have a spiritual life. that your spiritual life is based on an authentic and moral, way of being. Yeah, we're human. We've all made mistakes, all that and the third. All right. So check that. Check that. And maybe perhaps for many of you, this this opportunity showing up, this Lion's Gate that is showing up, is an opportunity for you to start over. It's an opportunity for you to connect with nature, to connect with your ancestors and ask them guidance on where to start if you don't know. Okay? And so back to what I was saying about experiencing a connection with my ancestors, I knew that it was this person. Like, this person allowed me to feel their presence, and I've never felt anything like that before. If I were to explain it, it feels like, okay, so for many women here who've given birth, you may know what this is like. All right. It feels that energy that you feel during birth, where it almost, like, I always explain it as like, you're connected to like some electricity post. It's almost like someone's like feeding electricity into your body. Okay. And this is how I always explain the process of giving birth. And it kind of like, it was like an ounce of that energy that is felt during birth. It felt like an ounce of that. That's why, man, y'all should really, women really, like, it's a connection. And I definitely give much respect to the masculines out there, because listen, masculines do what masculines do, and feminines do what feminines do. Men and women have their different roles, and much respect to the men for y'all roles. I would never want to be one. I am much happy being a woman, a feminine woman. Okay. But yeah, like, it felt like that, experiencing this ancestor's energy coming back during Lion's Portal. Felt like this ancestor came back. This ancestor wanted to make their presence known. And the thing is this, like, when you're connected, like divinely connected, you'll know exactly what force you're dealing with here. Okay, you'll know if it is a force that is, malevolent, or if it's a force that is not of you. In any case, if you keep your space where such, like, no negative energy can come in, then you already know, like, right away, like, okay, I know who you is. I know what energy I'm connecting with. All right. So I said I wasn't going to be on here that long, and I was, as usual. All right. So connect with your ancestors. All right. Lionsgate is a perfect opportunity to connect with those ancestors. Ask them the questions that you've always wanted to know. Listen, they've been here before. They've lived on this earth. Okay. They lived it. They lived on this earth. They have answers to questions, that you are wanting to know. And for many of you, you have a lot of questions. All right. Write those questions down. And one thing I would definitely say is to make sure that you keep your energy, in a space where it's balanced, because, feeling angry and this and that and the third, or whatever it is, that can definitely hinder your energy, and it can hinder your ability to sense energies coming from different realms, okay? Or your communication with your spirit guides and your ancestors, right? They are your spirit guides. Like, they hear you first and foremost, and they're here for you. All right. Forget them folks that are talking about, okay, they're dead, they're no longer here. Nah. Okay, just shoo them off. All right, because you already know they're here. And those folks that talk like that, let me not even get into that. They'll learn. you know, whether it's now or later, they will learn that there's so much more to this this world than the physical. Like, what do you have to look forward to if you think that this physical thing that you see is just it? Life could be dull if you're just seeing that that's it. There's so much more. Okay, so hopefully you got a sense of the connection with numerology. Okay, so what we were talking about, earth energy, and why it's significant to that this would be a good time to connect with your ancestors. So if you didn't get that information previously, I gave that information at the beginning of the live. You can go back and watch that. All right, so if we look at numerology helps us to connect the dots. All right, based on the numerology, it is a really great time to connect with our ancestors. All right, because they're waiting, they have information, and that's it. All right, so if you have any questions, you know, you can definitely post them in the comments. I would love to, you know, I'm going to say I don't know everything. I'm one of those people that is very comfortable in saying I don't know everything. I may not know the answers to all your questions, yet what I do know, I will share with you. All right, so connect, you know, channel some very positive, powerful energies, y'all, because spirit is definitely real. All right, y'all. Peace, love, and divine light. I hope this live was useful for you. Useful, helpful. All right, y'all. Make sure you like the live so that way other people get a chance to see it as well. Thank you for joining, y'all. And thank you everyone who commented. Yeah, spirit is definitely real. Reginald, you said true spirit guides don't always be on a live, but the ones that backs your spiritual journey in the spirit of the truth. True spirit guides don't always be a... Okay, I'm trying to Reginald, if you could help clarify that comment. I'm not sure what that means. You said, but the ones that backs your spiritual journey in the spirit of the truth. Okay, I don't want to misinterpret your comment. All right, so maybe you can repost it in the comment section. You said, you mean the ones that know the truth backs the truth. Ashe, ashe, ashe. When you know the truth, you live it. This is how I'm interpreting your what you're saying. When you know the truth, you live it. Okay? When you know the truth, you live according to that truth that you know. All right, y'all. Peace, love, and much divine light. All right, y'all. Until next time.